Welcome to another K-Frame session. I'm Ed Collins, and today I'd like to talk to you about exporting images from the K-Frame X image store. A couple things to remember when we do that is when we export a still image, it'll come back as a PNG file with an embedded alpha. When we export a movie, it'll come back as an AVI, also with an embedded alpha. There's a couple things we need to remember, a couple rules we have to abide by in order for this to happen. So let's take a look at the menu. Now I've navigated to the image store menu with images and stills selected. You can see that I have two stills here in cache memory and one movie. So when we go over to the library tab, we go from cache to disk here. But we don't have the export function up here, which will say convert. In order to convert this, we have to save it to disk first. So we're set up to save this to disk. I've already navigated to my H drive and my exports folder. We'll plug in 8500 through 8502, and this is going to save my two stills and my animation to disk. So we'll go ahead and start to save. You can watch the progress up here. This is going to take a minute, so we'll stop down and we'll come back when it's done. Okay, now all of our images are saved to disk, so let's take a look at how to actually convert those. If you look into the menu here, say from cache, that's where we were before. So I'm going to navigate into the from disk. So since we need to go from disk to disk in order to get our convert button. So I've already navigated into my H drive and my exports folder where we just saved this content before. And notice now in the middle I have a convert button because I'm set up from disk to disk. Another thing to note here is I'm coming from the exports folder and I navigated to a different folder which I named exports PNG AVI because you cannot export into the same folder where your original content was. So it will not allow you to do that. So let's go in and plug in the range that we want to export, 8500 through 8502. Enter. Light up this convert button and then hit execute. Now up here it's converting. You can see that it's converting stuff. And this is going to take a minute to convert that AVI, so we'll come back when it's done. Okay, now that our files are exported, let's take a look at the files that it created. So over here in the menu, you can see that I've navigated already to my H exports folder, PNG AVI folder. And you can see the three files that I have in here, the 8500, 8501 PNGs, and my 8502 AVIs. Those are the files that were created for this during this conversion. We can go take a look at this in Windows and see the 8500. Over here, I've got a 1920 by 1080 image. Here, I've got another 1920 by 1080 image. And then I've got my AVI animation, which is also 1920 by 1080. So what you can do is take your favorite editing program, take these files that were created during this conversion, do some editing, modifying to it, and then bring them back into the switcher. Another note I'd like to make is, let's say you have images that you've saved with a K-frame, native images to the K-frame. You can do this conversion offline with the K-frame simulator. You don't even have to be connected to a frame, so that makes it nice and convenient. So, well, that wraps up our export session for today, so thanks for joining us for another K-frame session.